Good evening all and welcome back to the channel. This is Falls Creek Flips. I am Bowden and thank you so much for watching. Well, tonight's a bit of an interesting one. If you've been watching the last couple of weeks, there's been, a lot of discussion that I've made in regards to where my sales are at, how slow it's been. And this week, I actually posted up on one of the Facebook pages, which I think a lot of you may have seen. Just asking for people to have a bit of a review of my store, because sometimes it's important to step away from something. You can be so close to something that you don't see the failures that are there. You just accept that that's how it is and you want to stick with it. So I want to first of all say thank you to everyone that commented on that. Everyone that gave some feedback. I really do appreciate it. I'm trying to look at how I can implement some of those suggestions that people gave me. But it's a real challenge that I don't think only but I think a lot of people are having at the moment in that things have slowed down. So I'll show you, since Friday, this is the sales that I've done. I've done 3 things. That's it. Yeah. So I've got Army of Darkness here that I bought for 10 cents at the tip shop, which is sold for, I think, $7. I have this little vintage Billy tea mug, Australian Billy tea mug, that has sold for $30, I think. It's all going to come up on the screen for you. And last but not least, we have this Milwaukee shirt. I did talk about Milwaukee the other week. I highly recommend. This is one of your tool brands that if you see any clothing out there, just grab it, guys. It's always worthwhile. If it's at the price point where you're going to see yourself get a return, just grab it, guys. So there are our sales for since Friday. Yeah, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's what we have done, guys. It's very disappointing. It's very frustrating because, you go through this. You do everything you possibly can to make it all work and to do everything right and follow all the steps, but sometimes it just doesn't seem to go. And that's okay. Thankfully, I am lucky that I'm in a position where I'm not solely reliant on this. I am the sole income earner for the family at the moment, but thankfully I did have another job. We'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, so I've been able to not stress so significantly. We also had the blessing of some finances coming our way due to a family member gifting us some money. So that was a huge blessing as well. But ultimately, guys, it can be really tough if you are a full-time reseller and things are as slow as they are at the moment. I'd hate to be in the position where I was solely reliant on my sales and I'd done, $70 over 3 days. That would be very, very disheartening and challenging for me to continue on. Thankfully, I've got supportive family and friends and people who are helping me with everything that I do anyway, that are fully supportive, and so I'm not too stressed out. However, as I said, I have had a job. I knew that the work that I was doing wasn't long-term capable with my wife in full-time study, so I'd have days where I'd get a call at 6 o'clock at night to be on the road at 5 a.m. the next morning. And that, with 2 young boys, is really, really difficult to continue along with. And to be absolutely honest, guys, the money wasn't great. I was only working 3 days, but I was taking home about $350. So it was essentially minimum wage. That would climb if I got some sales in. But with COVID, it's been very difficult to chase down sales, do a lot of cold calling. So my role was in cold calling. The owner of the company, my boss, he got all of the incoming warm leads, and then obviously any existing customers went to him as well. So it was very difficult to grow my position in the company. Not saying I didn't enjoy what I was doing, I very much did. It was sad to give it up and say bye to all the guys that I'd enjoyed working with, but the reality is it just wasn't doing it for me. So I'd been throwing my hat in the ring for a couple of jobs here and there. Nothing too crazy. Essentially, I'd gone through about a year ago and redone my resume. Some of you, if you've been watching, know I've got a pretty varied background with some wonderful experience. And so I wanted to redo my resume sort of to show that a little bit better. So I did it and then started applying for jobs. And as you always do when you apply for jobs, you write a cover letter. Well, the last 2 months, I decided, stuff it. I hate cover letters. I think they're stupid. They're a waste of time. They just restate anything you're going to say in an interview. So if someone really wants to interview you, they're going to ask you those questions. You're going to answer them anyway. And I always do better in a verbal sort of face-to-face or, on off-the-cuff kind of thing rather than typing and trying to be eloquent and all that sort of stuff. So I just went, cool. I'm just going to send my resume out for any jobs. If I see a job I like, I just bang my resume out. I'm not going to fill anything else in. Just send my resume, send my details, and away we go. And lo and behold, I got a phone call, and I've straight up got a phone call on a Friday, phone interview on the Monday, job offer pretty much that same day. So I'm going from what would have been a full-time equivalent role of minimum wage of 40k plus a car, etc., to now a full-time role. It's a smaller area, so I'm just doing essentially the Nowra down to Batemans Bay region, which is still a significant section, but just think of essentially, if you know your Australian electorates, it's essentially Gilmore, or if you're not from Australia or you don't understand, it's probably about 150 to 200k distance essentially from north to south, and just focusing on Nowra, Bomaderry, Ulladulla, Milton, and Batemans Bay, Moruya sort of territory. So yeah, I'm going to be working for Repco. I'm going to be a account manager for them. It's an on-the-road job, 5 days a week essentially. But it gives me that ability to be at home with the boys when I need to be, to have the flexibility to drop them off to daycare with either my mum, my wife's mum, so my mother-in-law, or childcare, so preschool that we send them to. Whereas if I was off at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning to go to Canberra or to the Central Coast for 2 days and my wife had to be somewhere early, it really puts a lot of pressure on her to be able to get stuff done prior to having to go to uni. So I just went, doesn't make sense to keep doing that, as fun as it is and as much as I enjoy it. So that's the big change, guys. That's the big thing that has happened over the last little bit. So right now I'm currently unemployed. It is Sunday the 13th and I finished up on Thursday. I gave my boss the option of I could work out the 2 weeks, or if he wanted, I had a bunch of holidays so I could just take holidays and just enjoy 2 weeks off. And he just went, let's just do holidays. I'll pay you out for that. I'll pay you the rest, and away we go. It's a little bit less money in my back pocket because I don't get paid for the 2 weeks of that payout. And I take it as holidays. But ultimately, I'm showing my boss that I don't want to be a money grub. I'm working with him, and I'm happy to have these 2 weeks to myself, kind of thing. So I've got 2 weeks before I start again on the 28th. So I'm going to try and fix up the driveway from all the rain. I'm going to spend a little bit of time just tidying up, especially in here. As you can see, there is just stuff everywhere. I'm trying to get stuff listed, and the big thing it does mean for the channel is I'm probably going to have to amend the upload schedule. I don't know if I'm going to be able to sustain 2 videos a week, and I don't know which way I'm going to go. I'm probably going to try and keep the What's Sold Sundays where I can, but also be mindful that it's not the most engaging viewing, and to try and intersperse some of that with the op shopping or whatever I can include. So I'm not going to stick to an every Sunday night schedule. I'm not going to stick to an every Wednesday schedule. It's going to kind of be interspersed and just kind of play it by ear a little bit. I'm obviously going to have to get my feet on the ground running with the new role. But yeah, I appreciate all of you who are watching. I hope I can still deliver content that is encouraging to you, that is supportive to you, that is educational. And hopefully I can get back to a position where I can be spending a bit more time on the business again. But, that's the joy of this industry and what we do, is that it does have the flexibility to allow us to come in and out. And that's one of the things I really like about it, is that I'm not tied to a lease. I'm not tied to stock, essentially. Like, I've got stock here, but it's just stock on hand. I own it outright, essentially. It owes me nothing. So I can take my time with it. I can just put it away and forget about it if I want to. I can focus on coming out here nightly, which is my goal, and to continue to try and do stuff over night time. That's where it'll just be, I have to reduce how much I'm listing. I'll spend a bit more time trying to correct and improve a lot of my listings. And yeah, just see things slowly, grow again. But yeah, I just wanted to say thank you guys again for watching, for being involved, and most of all, just keep flipping. Okay, guys, here are the figures for the week. Obviously, like we said, a little bit quiet. That's an understatement. But essentially, total sales are $67.99. Our fees and freight, our cost of goods, $11.60, so nice and low. Fees and freight, $28.20, which gives us a net return of $28.19. Our ASP for the week was $22.66. So out of three things, $22.66, it is what it is. We would have loved more, and hopefully, fingers crossed, things will start to change soon. But thank you very much, guys, for watching. Hope you have a great week, and we'll see you soon.